Sloss and Humphries on the road.
Muggins and Cream, Cream and Muggins, straight thuggin', living the dream.
That's our intro.
Fucking muggles.
Tickling the clit inside your head that makes you laugh. They said it can't be done.
I am a big nerd.
Mm-hmm.
Behind me, you can see I've got all the leather-bound books of Brandon Sanderson's book.
People noticed that as well.
Yeah.
People have pointed that out.
Yeah. I love the Cosmere. If you don't know the Cosmere, it's Brandon Sanderson's universe that he's building. He's been building for about 15, 20 years. I recommend you start with the Mistborn trilogy. It's just one of the best trilogies ever written. If you're like a deep fantasy person, I acknowledge that it's like a bit more accessible than, other stuff, but I like that about it. It's really nice. Like at the end, it's always high energy. I'm massively into it. So I'm trying to read
books that accelerate at the end.
Yeah,
because I find that with Stephen King, like I'll have read that much of it, and I'm like, there's so much to tie up, and then that last bit will just be rapid.
Brandon Sanderson fans call it the Sanderlanche, which is the worst nickname I've ever fucking heard. I'm like, back to the drawing board, boys.
That scan that like
doesn't.
That's like one of them things where I'll say it on something like on the podcast and just instantly regret it.
Yeah. It just. And here's the thing. I know you don't shit on something unless you have like an alternative to it. I don't have an alternative to the Sanderlanche, but it's not the Sanderlanche. So I'm reading. I think I've only got like 3 or 4 books left in
the whole saga.
He's still writing, and unlike George R. R. Martin, he will actually finish these books because I don't care what anyone says. Brandon Sanderson is a better writer than George R. R. Martin, and proof of that is the fact that Brandon Sanderson hasn't written himself into a corner that he cannot get out of. Brandon Sanderson was asked to finish the Wheel of Time books, and if you ask any of the Wheel of Time fans, they will tell you that he did a remarkably good fucking job. Something that George R. R. Martin could not have done because, as I've said before, George R. R. Martin cannot finish books. He can write Jeopardy. He can create tension. He's excellent.
Character building's amazing.
Character building's good. World building is fine. It's fine.
And he sold it. And it became bigger than the books, and it outran the books.
Yeah.
And story-wise as well, like it as soon as it passed the books.
Yeah,
there was no way he was typing and catching up with it.
George R. R. Martin is a big fucking fat failure, and the sooner he passes, the better. Because once he dies, hopefully
he can finish the books.
Well, no, Brandon Sanderson will do it.
Yeah,
George R. R. Martin just needs to cop it, and then we just give the rights to Brandon. I've said this on the podcast before. If, as all good fantasy novel writers get, if and when they get depression, which they all do, without exception, well, with one exception. Brandon Sanderson.
That God-loving Christian.
With yeah. Not Christian, Mormon. But,
Mormon, is he?
Aye.
I imagine him to be like Ned Flanders.
Or a chubbier one.
Yeah.
A chubbier Ned Flanders. But yeah, I mean, you're minus the mustache. Mm-hmm. Glasses.
Doodly.
That's him. That is him.
Did I ever tell you my coldest take in the world that turned out to be super wrong? When the series of Game of Thrones started overtaking the books and everyone thought George R. R. Martin was going to die and it wasn't going to get finished, I was like, oh, have faith. I've read a David Benioff book and it's one of my favourite books. It's in great hands. I was like, guys, stay calm. Stay calm. David Benioff has got this.
Yeah, don't worry.
City of Thieves was a great book.
Guys, I know we're about to crash, but I know this car's about to crash. I know it's icy roads, but we have current Michael Schumacher driving. It's all going to be fine.
I watched one of his races. He was amazing.
So I've got like 3 books to like finish the Cosmere, and then I'll go back through them because I'm a big fucking loser. Hello, people who listen to this podcast and watch it. I'm Daniel Sloss, one of the people on the podcast. If you do not want to give me any more of your money and you do not want to subscribe to the Patreon, or if you're like, you know what, even though we're in a massive recession, how could I throw more money at this spoiled man? But you don't want it to go directly to me. What you can do is by making us look better, by making us seem like we've got more influence than we have, is going to thistlecrosscider.co.uk, using the promo code ThistlySloss10 to get a 10% discount on any order in the UK, and it will be shipped to you. It is legitimately my favourite cider. The reason it is the sponsor isn't because they approached us, isn't because we have an amazing reach. It's because I approached them being like, I love this, I love small businesses, and I love Scottishness, and I also love drinking responsibly. If you want to drink what we drink on the podcast, if you want to give it a go and try one of the many delicious flavours that they have, which includes original Scottish fruit, whiskey cask flavour. They've come up with a new mulled wine flavour. There is their strawberry flavour. There's elderflower. They're amazing. I genuinely recommend you try them. If you see us at any point in the future with these adverts not in the show, it's because you didn't buy enough and you embarrassed us. You embarrassed us in front of our new sponsors by not buying anything, right? Hey, come here, zoom in. Buy this. I don't care if you don't drink, right? Buy it as a gift. Christmas is coming up. There's a mulled wine flavour. Buy it!
Is it mulled wine flavour or is it mulled cider?
Fuck!
You know what I'd like to do as a nerd? I'd like to get every series that I've read, from like Harry Potter to Game of Thrones and the Wheel of Time when I've finished it. Did I say Dark Tower? I'd like to get all of the actual physical book piles and do like a fucking video of like each of the things. Like in a proper nerd, like this is what I've read as a visual.
I mean, that's what hopefully this is going to be for me.
But then like, I'm worried that Mark Nelson might sneak into my house and smother us in my sleep.
Yeah, but to attack Mark Nelson, Jaws isn't that good.
Man, you've already lost so many people with your opinions on music.
Jaws is great.
Like-
Jaws is great. And look, if Jaws is ever on television, I'll watch Jaws. You can jump in. But
You prefer Deep Blue Sea with LL Cool J, don't you?
How did the shark swim backwards, Guy? That was a twist none of us were expecting. Jaws is excellent and was responsible for one of the better rides in like Universal back in the fucking day. It was real good. I love Jaws. I'm not here to shit on Jaws. I'm just the way he reveres it. I see no different to
But
the
it
way I
invented-
revere the Wheel of Time.
It invented nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
No, I think about
Nah. You think that was pre-Jaws? That was Jaws.
No, that's the noise that sharks make.
That's
the noise that sharks make in the sea. The only reason we don't have any recording of them doing that is because I don't know if you've tried going up to a shark with a microphone.
as well, they're doing it underwater. They're like,
Yeah. No, it comes out.
get them out of the water. I was like, nah. You're like, whoa, you sound so differently up here.
The three books I'm struggling on, and I know you're a Brandon Sanderson fan. You like the Wax and Wayne quadrilogy, don't you?
Yeah, they were all right. It's not as good as the original three.
Yeah, it's like, here's the thing. There's the Mistborn world, which introduces you to this new form of magic, which is really cool and excellent. And then,
So
like,
is it.
I mean, I'll not. If you want me to get into the nuances
Yeah.
of which shards landed on the planet in which specific cosmere.
I love it when worlds
Preservation and ruin, by the way.
I love it when worlds get magic right.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Kavoth, what do you call it? That
Oh,
series?
Name of the Wind.
Name of the Wind.
King Killer Chronicles. Thank you.
And also the Broken World Saga, which is the 5th season. You read the 5th season but didn't finish it. I think they've got like their magic systems good, and it's you're like, oh yeah, cool. Like, you've described that better than anyone's ever described magnets to us. So if I'm not to believe that, then I don't believe magnets.
Aye, okay, right, fair enough. Brandon Sanderson's really good at explaining his magic systems. They make sense. They sort of scan and everything, and like the magic system in is it Skadrian? Doesn't matter. This is just nerd shit here. The magic system on that planet's very specific, and it's like back in the days of like swords and not orcs, but kind of orc sort of thing. And then the end of the trilogy ends the trilogy, and the universe and the world is saved as they always are. The next books are like fucking 300 years later, and I can tell you a genre I just cannot fucking get into at any point, and this is like nerd shit. The Barbie movie, like I'll get into a lot of nerd. Fucking westerns, man. Fucking any sort of like horses are just about to become obsolete. like the steam trains.
Steampunk.
Oh my God, steampunk is for me, just the most boring thing in the
You don't
world.
like westerns? You don't like
no.
the idea of like a kind of lawlessness of
No, I like that, and I love the Red Dead Redemption games, and there's plenty of like cowboy movies that I fucking love. But I'm talking the transition year between cowboys, steam, and this little thing here where it's like, oh,
the Wicca Wild Wild West with Will Smith.
fucking stinky poo poo. I just like. I don't know what it is, whether it's just like the in between. It would be like your favorite fucking Pokemon being Charmeleon, right? Why? Right? It's either the first selection or Charizard.
Yeah.
Who fucking enjoys the middle? What is
Nobody enjoys being a teenager.
No, man.
You're this fucking rangy. You don't know your own fucking motor skills yet.
Yeah,
your skin's gone weird.
It's like I remember in history. I'm a big fan of history. I'm a bigger fan of not learning from it. I remember like when we were in first and second year at high school, they taught us about like Neanderthals, which I found riveting. They taught us about the Roman Empire, which I was like, oh my God, these cunts did everything. I signed up to third and fourth year. Right, do you know what they taught us about?
The Industrial Revolution.
Oh God, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care how many people died in mines. I couldn't give a fuck. I couldn't give a fuck. They're buried. Leave them there. It doesn't matter. Oh, I can't abide it.
No.
And I know, because other people, and you're right. Those of you that are
because that history's a bit too recent.
Is it history if I can talk to someone who was there? I don't think so. Like,
It's just news.
yeah,
It's old news.
which isn't fair, because I absolutely would consider World War II to be
Old news.
history.
Old news are history.
And I find that, but that's World War. That's cool.
When do you think it stops being old news and becomes history?
When the last kind, it's got to be when the last kind. When you're reading it from books and stuff, and also the interesting thing about World War.
I met people from World War One. Did you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Marlena was there.
Outrageous.
Have I met anyone from World War? I mean, they're dead. They're all dead now.
Oh, surely.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, at least anyone who served in it. I'm pretty sure like you've got some.
Oh,
people-
yeah. You'll have World War One babies
Yeah.
that are in that well into the hundreds.
No, both grandparents were obviously around in World War II. My gran on my mother's side has told me about like when she used to go to like the air raid shelters in Glasgow and stuff, and that sounds interesting.
My granddad got shot at when he was in an aeroplane, but he never left Britain.
Just a Ryanair flight.
Never left Britain. Never left Britain in the war.
Aye?
But he was up doing miles all the time because he was training the pilots.
Okay, and who was in it?
The Spitfire pilot, so he would winch targets out the back of his ferry battle. There's an airplane called a ferry battle, and it would have like
There's a what?
Ferry battle, like F.
Is this back
I think it's FEIREY. Like
ferry,
ferry. I think that's how you spell it.
not fairy.
Not ferry,
Oh, I was going to say.
but like it's pronounced ferry battle. And then
I was just like, it's just the same time back when gay meant happy.
They're
They're just like, this is our deadly plane, the Fairy Spitfire. I'm like, oh, a Brandon Sanderson character.
And it was just the other episode as well when I was telling you that people called RAF the flying fairies.
Yeah.
I reckon that's what spoiled it.
Yeah, gotta be, yeah.
So he would winch out these like massive cloth targets that would like go out, and then Spitfires would like fly by and shoot at the targets that were being trailed behind his plane, and then he'd winch it back in, and then like kind of collect the scores based on where the bullets had hit the target.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, -4,
Yeah.
-5, lost a foot, ouch.
He had some scary moments, like there's a bit where like it was winching in and the fucking thing came off, like the actual target came off the cable, and the cable just comes shooting back in and whipping around the cabin, and he's just fucking hunched up in the corner as it's just fucking lashing this metal cable around the cabin. And another time where the undercarriage didn't come, like so they had to belly land on a field with no undercarriage.
No, landed it like it was the Flintstones.
His legs.
Tuck his feet into the ground.
Yeah. So my granddad's got war stories from never leaving the country.
There you go. I didn't realise how much the UK was. And this is how I know I'm approaching my 40s. I mean, I'm still 70 years away from it. But I remember growing up and like, we had one television downstairs which well, I don't think it was a fucking skybox back then, but it was a cable box. And Dad would always be watching the History Channel. He would always be watching something on World War II. And you just sit there and be like, man, this thing is Friends. This thing is Keenan and Kel on it. Like, what are you doing?
Two guys and a girl at a pizza place. What are you doing?
Like, why are we watching? I can't imagine. Like, why are we watching?
My Wife and Kids is on here. You remember that one? Was it My Wife and Kids? The one with one of the Wayans brothers, the older Wayans brother.
Oh, I didn't. No,
I fucking loved that one.
mine was Boy Meets World. Was my childhood.
Topanga.
Sister. Remember Sister?
Yeah.
Tia and Tamara.
And then
I almost called them Timon and Pumbaa.
Sister, Timon and Pumbaa. What else? There was Clarissa Explains It All.
I remember clearly. Yeah, because
That was the pre-Sabrina.
Yeah. And obviously Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Can you,
my
can you
dad-
remember when the auntie from Sabrina the Teenage Witch stormed out of Reverend Obadiah Steppenwolf's show?
Yeah.
Because his show was like, I went on and he basically just like rang round you and everyone to find out like some horrendous stories that he wouldn't want us to bring up to ask us questions. And then he brought, so it was, you knew what you were getting into if you did that show. He was going to ask you questions where like you were like, oh, what the fuck, how do you even know that? Because he does a bit of research to find out your darkest secrets. And he didn't even get up to any questions because he just went, we couldn't get the fit one, so we got the pretty one. No, what? I got that wrong, didn't I?
You did. Aye.
Cut that, Matthew. Cut that,
Leave
make us look
that.
better.
Leave that in.
Make us look better than what I am. Make us look like I'm class and I always get my words right. Because that's how they think of me. And I didn't want to spoil their image of us. Couldn't get the fit one, so I got the funny one.
There you go.
And it's just stormed out. It's fair fucks. Fair fucks. She's like, no, I'm not. I'm not funny.
I'd rather be the funny one than the fit one. And thankfully on this podcast, I'm both.
Fit means a different thing now.
Yeah, it does.
It used to mean you are like physically fit.
Yeah, no.
Now it means people that are shallow like you. You can't do anything with it. Fit used to be what you could physically do with your body. Mm-hmm. Now it just means fucking nothing like that.
But it's like, don't pretend it's fucking us. Don't pretend it's fucking us that's changing words. It's fucking the Elliot Steels down in London that are like, and while I'm talking about getting fucking older, I don't mind youth terminology that I do not understand.
But when bear means very, stuff like that, bear.
You don't just get to change the fucking meanings of word. Make up a new fucking word, right?
I've got one like you do.
What do I?
Stop saying greeting for crying. Greeting's already a word. It means saying hello. Stop pretending that means crying.
No.
Oh, it's alright when it's you.
No. It's a different fucking thing. It's an entirely different. Greeting has meant crying for 40, 50 fucking years in Scotland. It's a colloquialism. There's history to that. You do not get to, on a day, a random day, decide that bear means lots. That's the difference, right?
You just did it.
Right? And all right, well, can't mean that.
Canny.
Yeah.
We made a word up for it. Canny.
Yeah.
Canny doesn't mean anything else.
Yeah, what? Up here,
Got a
you
red
can't.
squiggly line.
You can't.
No, that's canny. Cannot. Canny.
Canny.
Yes.
No, you can't shove your granny off a bus.
Yeah. C-A-N-A-E.
Nah. There's a difference between colloquialisms and local terminology.
Like, have Oxter. And I have made Oxter up, but like, you have made that up. Like, you have just got your own word that you made up for it. But greeting, like, it always baffles, like, because Gareth says it a lot in text form. And every time I have to read it twice.
Aye.
Because he's, like, what he's saying and what I'm receiving is like, when even though it's been years, the pass is never completed. Because greeting already means a thing.
Didn't greet chicken feet.
Greeting. It is a good word for it. But it's just like pointlessly baffling.
Aye. Anyway, I remember walking in, watching my fucking dad, watching this fucking History Channel, being like, why the fuck are we watching World War II shit? Also, when World War II movies are available, which are way better than World War II documentaries. That being said, 7th of December, I've got a Netflix reminder. There's a new World War II documentary coming out. What am I waiting for? We know what happened. All the information is there. Nothing new has come to light. The historians are there. Al Murray's got like a fucking 300 episode podcast which goes into every minor fucking detail of World War II, and it's fascinating. Why am I suddenly interested in it?
It's excellent. It happened. It happened in real life.
But why do we?
And it was like one. It was one of the, like, the goodness prevailed with World War II. It was it was the real good versus evil fight, and good won. Like, that's why it's fascinating. It's like it's like something out of Hollywood that actually happened.
Also,
But I don't think you appreciate that when you're younger.
Nah.
You just take that for granted that something like that happened on that magnitude, like not that long ago. Like World War II ended, right? Like closer to when I was born than when I am now to when I was born. It just happened. Recent history. It just happened, and I got to be born into the world where, like, I was living free, and we're complaining about it now, and we're struggling to hold it together now. But like the nice life that we've had is because that happened.
Aye.
And I think that's why it's fascinating.
I also think it's very fascinating. Like, there was one of the most freezing cold takes I have ever seen in my goddamn life. And this is when, like, sometimes I think I'm far left, and then I go back online and I see far left. I'm like, oh, I'm definitely centre left. And because you keep going so far that way, you're pushing me more into the fucking centre. The coldest take I have ever fucking seen in my life, and she will remain nameless, was like when the movie 1917 came out. She was like, how many more toxic male movies do we need to, like, celebrating this, like, big dumb war? It's like, 17-year-olds gave their lives. Like teenagers and young men and women put their literal lives on the line in the name of it. It's not that they do tend to ignore other really important historical parts that they could be talking about in those movies, right? We could talk about the fact that there were all the black soldiers that served for America and then came back and still had no fucking rights.
Where's all the films about the women's making bullets?
Aye.
Working constantly in the factories.
So yes, I agree. I agree in the sense that yes, there could be movies made within that era that could tell the lesser known stories of the other fucking heroes, because it was the machine. It was the machine of the Allies that won the war together, and we shouldn't just always focus on the people in the front line and the fucking generals doing it. But you do not get to reduce the genuine a sacrifice none of us will ever have to make or really understand. Not none of us, I understand these people, but even then, different type of war, really. Like the wars that are being fought in our name overseas are like, hey, we're going to give them democracy. We're going to make sure they've kept democracy, as opposed to our democracy is on the fringe and being under attack, and we just have to send kids, people that can fucking barely drive.
That's what I love about the modern war films, is that they're actually casting teenagers instead of just like getting like Tom Hanks to pretend to be a kid.
Also, I gotta say, I'm glad women are at war, right? Here's something I saw yesterday, right? And I shouldn't be impressed by this, and I shouldn't be happy about this. I saw a bin woman.
Nice.
A bin lady. I've never seen a bin lady in my life.
Nah.
Why have I never seen a fucking bin lady in my life? Makes sense. All women are trash.
I just feel like women could be better utilised. I feel like, why do that? Just get a grub to date.
No.
What are you doing that for? Get that stanky ass bloke picking his ass to date. What are you doing?
Women are allowed to pick their bums, guy. They're allowed to be scruffs. That's feminism.
Lots of lasses doing roadworks and shit in Australia.
Guy, great, all for it.
I think it was like some Brazilian exchange that they put on. And I didn't think they would get as much. I didn't think they knew they'd get as much uptake from lasses, but then they were just like, cool.
Aye. I'm absolutely fine.
Cool, but when's the job going to get finished?
No. So my question is...
Put the money in the jar. Put the money in the jar. It's behind you. There's money. There's money in it already.
Aye. Stick that up.
We need to put in... Because we didn't do any on the road. But I really do think we should put a $5 in for that suicide medley that we did.
Go and get 50... Oh, no, I think we did do it. So
this is 10 in. That's 10 for 2 5s.
Oh,
one for just now.
I'll note them down. It'll come up on the video.
Okay. And then also 5 for all the suicide jokes we made. That's fair.
All right. There we go. I feel like we're back up to speed now. Probably not. Probably not. I think we'll probably owe quite a bit in this podcast already. Take 15.
Aye.
Didn't bother. I had a fucking interesting experience yesterday, Daniel.
Uh-huh.
I felt like I was on a hidden camera show.
Yeah.
The guy come to collect my car.
If I ever... Just to if I ever thought I was on like a fucking Ashton Kutcher prank show and I didn't like the way I'd reacted, like let's say, because if somebody pissed me off successfully and I actually did fucking snap in public, like Zach Braff did in I don't know if you remember Zach Braff's.
I know who he is from Scrubs.
Yeah, oh man, his punked is awful. Like, fair enough, there's a kid vandalizes his car, or he thinks a kid vandalizes his car. He fucking screams in this child's face. Like, real bad. If I ever got into a situation like that, dick out, wank. They're not showing that.
Yeah.
Right? I call it the squid, right?
Well, being fully racist.
I'm like, there's a hidden camera over there. Fucking is there? Shit! This is the only way. This is the
Can
only
we show buttholes?
Aye. This is the only way this isn't getting on MTV.
Cameras have stopped filming ages ago.
Fine, I'll live stream it.
So guy comes to my door, right, and I was like, he had to collect the car, and he was like, yep. And then I was right, he has the keys, and he was like, all right, thank you, bye. And I was like, do you have any ID?
Yeah, I've got cookies.
Yeah, I was like, because you could have just been, it was like one of them things where I was like, oh, he could have knocked on the door for anything. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, presented him with the car keys, and then he just went to leave without doing any checks. Mm-hmm. So I was like, he got any ID? And then like he disappeared into the car for ages, and then like rummaged through the thing and come
Your car?
into my car.
Aye.
Right.
And he pulled his ID out of there.
So he went in with his bag on the passenger seat. So he opened the passenger seat, went in there, and he was in his bag for fucking ages. And I'm just like looking, going, where's his van? Like, where's he picking this car up from? Like, where's he how did he get here? Or like, what's he going to? Is he driving the car back and he got dropped off? But I just didn't see.
Yeah, I
him
mean,
drop
there's no way he drove there if he's driving away. That'd be
one of them big, like when we other car got dropped off, and when that car got dropped off, they brought like there was like 6 or 7 other cars on the wagon, and they take that one off and then go and drop the next one off. So I thought he was just doing the runs, getting collections, but he's just there on his own with his van. And anyway, he fucking comes out with this ID that was like didn't have his name or picture or anything on it, and it just had like the company's name. And then I cross-checked it with a text message that I got saying that they were going to collect it, and it still felt a bit peculiar that he was going to leave with the keys. And then he gave us this ID, and I took a photograph of it, and then he went to leave, and I was like, do you not have to do a check on the car or anything? He was like, oh, I was just going to do it when I got home. Like, he didn't even say like back to the thing, and his English was bad as well. Okay. Like his English...
So it was from Newcastle?
He was a Geordie. We just couldn't understand each other.
Like Ashington, you Blythe.
Yeah. And I had like talk with it, I was like, do you not have to do like a check on the car? Like I mentioned in all the stuff that I got, like you have to do a check because he's about to drive off in it. And I'm like, I don't want you driving off, and anything could happen between here and your house, taking it home. Right? Anything could happen between now and your house. You, like, even if he scuffs an alloy, I'm getting charged hundreds. And he just started whacking on the car as if he'd like never done a car check before. And like there was frost on the top, and he went across the frost and looked at his finger. I'm like,
oh, well, like he's fucking Mary Poppins checking for dust.
yeah. And I'm like, okay, is it not like, do you not have to do like a thorough inspection? Like I had to talk him into it, and like he opened the car, and like to get his thing, he took out an iPad and he took out a thing, and he just like exploded his bag all over the footwell, the driver's seat, and everything. And he gets his iPad out, and this guy has never used an iPad before in his life. It would have felt like less of a hidden camera show if Mr. Bean come to do my car check. I had to show him how to use his iPad. Right? He didn't know how to. He started trying to do the thing and log in, but it wouldn't let him log in because he's not connected to the internet.
He keeps trying to get it on like facial recognition ID, and it's like face not recognised, thumbprint. No, don't read into this. Don't read into. I'm also. This is somebody else's iPad that I'm taking away to.
Honestly, it honestly felt like he'd mugged the guy that was coming to collect me. That was coming to collect me car, and he was just fucking winging it with every question that I asked him. And
give me a not that it matters, but just so I have a correct picture in my head.
Why asking this?
You know,
why asking this?
Come on, do the accent, do the eyes if necessary. Come on, what are we talking about?
I wish he was white so I could have made a formal complaint.
If this cunt was Polish, should we have a job? Are we okay? Where are we going? Where are we? I'd get prepared for money in the thing. Are we?
Just put the money in the thing.
Are we? Call center. A modern day pirate.
Warmer.
Warmer than modern day.
Warmer than the Caribbean, Daniel. Think Africa.
Okay.
None of that mattered, right? Sweet guy, right?
Fucking here's the liberals idiots.
No.
Oh, lovely.
You've done the Dave Longley to Eddie Who. What colour is he? When it doesn't matter. What was difficult was the language barrier.
So what language was he speaking?
He was
Swahili?
he was speaking English.
Right, okay.
But like it was difficult to communicate.
I understand.
What
accent? Do it. Don't do it.
Actually, I was Captain Phillips. you got it right.
Okay.
So he gets his iPad out, right? And to log into the iPad, you have to put your code in, and he just QWERTYs it, right? He QWERTYs and logs in with QWERTY into his iPad. And then he opens up the thing and goes to log in, and he types in his username as QWERTY, which I've just seen him use as a password. And then he typed the password in, and it was wrong.
Great.
Right? And I was like, oh, you before this, he didn't realize when he was trying to log in that he couldn't access the login because you need to be connected to the internet. He didn't know that. He didn't know that you had to be connected to the internet to log in to the online file for this car. And I had to realize that and connect him to the internet, but he didn't know how to connect to the internet. So I'm like, you've never used this iPad. Like, how the fuck are you going to do this check if you've never once used an iPad? So anyway, I managed to log him in, and I'm being super patient, and I'm actually like playing it through in my head like I'm on camera, because this is like the only way I can be patient with this man is if I like call us a cynic, right? But I would have lost my fucking like nut if
he was a Scouser, he would have been chinned.
Yes.
Right.
Right. Like this man had additional needs in everything but appearance.
Right.
And I had to just help this man through this process. He's out of his fucking depth here. He doesn't know what's going on. So I managed to get him logged in, and then I managed to get him on the internet, and then he goes to the login on the thing, and he types in the same...
Start sending some emails. Hello, I am Nigerian royalty.
And he manages to type in the wrong username, and I'm like, is your username the same as your password to get into the thing? And then he's like, oh, ugh. And then typed it in, like, because he hadn't realized that he was just typing in the same thing. And he eventually gets in. And then he starts going through this, like, a very, very extensive, thorough survey on the car. And to me, I'm like, he was about, like, this is a really thorough survey. And he was just literally able to drive away with my car without doing the actual meat and bones of his job. And some questions were coming up, like, he was going... Parcel shelf, where's the parcel shelf? And he's sat in the back seat of the car, and I'm sat in the driving seat of the car because we're keeping warm because it's fucking freezing. And I'm like, it's behind you? Like, there's the parcel shelf. And then he's getting a bit, and he's like, glove box. I'm like, the glove box?
Yeah.
I'm like, is this a prank? And then, right, I'm not lying here when I tell you 2 hours to get through this form, right?
Fuck off.
2 hours.
Of your day?
Of my day.
Fuck
and
that.
It's fucking freezing outside, right? And it's not light, but I've managed to got my windows open, the lights from the house, and the fucking the outside light. So one side of the car, and he's doing the wheels, and it's really fucking obvious that it's not going to let you take a picture of the wheel unless the full wheel's in the picture, and he's getting fucking close up of the wheel, and it's coming up error, and I'm like, just back a bit, mate, and I'm like, I'm really patient and polite, like, just come back a bit, and then do that, and I'm like, I could have took advantage of this guy, like, you know, if there's fucking loads of stuff wrong with my car, I could have absolutely fucking put myself through a clear thing. It was like... It wasn't like he was screwing me over with how shit he was. He could have screwed the company over with how shit he was.
Yeah.
Which was making me go, I spent 150 quid on getting the bumper fucking touched up because there was like a little scratch that was like exactly 10 millimeters. And it's like, if you had to paint the whole bumper, because it was like within 10 millimeters, and I'm like, oh, it's dead on. I could lose like £600 for a nanometer. Of this dent, so I was like, oh fuck it, I'll just cash out on 150 quid and get it fixed. Now I'm just there going, That was a waste of time and money getting that done. He gets run to the other side of the car and it's fucking pitch black. And I'm like, do you want us to turn the car around so that this side's in the light? And he's like, oh, no, I'll use my phone torch. And it wasn't very good. Clearly not very good, right? So I get my phone torch out as well. So he's there with one hand with a phone torch trying to take a photo with an iPad. The motherfucker is like absolute boomer trying to take a photo. I'm just like, well, you're not getting...
Yeah, how old is this guy?
Maybe he's 50.
Okay.
Maybe he's 50. And he's trying to get a photo and I'm like trying to help him get the photo and we've got the lights and like it took us fucking ages to get through. And even at the bonnet, right, he's taking a picture of the bonnet and the car lights are on and it's pitch black and he took a picture of complete sheer darkness. And I was like, well, you're going to need to take another photo. That's not going to work. We'll have to knock the lights off. And he was like, oh, it's fine. I'm like, why are you even taking these photos if you're just letting it... Anyway, baffled us. Motherfucker, right at the very end of this 2-hour inspection, he pulls a fucking head torch out and puts the head torch on.
And he holds it above his head. He's like, I've had an idea.
And then it comes up like...
How... Can I ask you a question? I want you to be honest with you. How close were you, if at any point, were you to racism? Shane Gillis has a very good joke, which is people say, I'm not racist. And you're like, you can't say that. Racism is like hunger, right? You're not racist now, but just wait until a cheeseburger cuts you off in traffic. It's an excellent joke. Shane Gillis is one of the best comics going around at the moment. He's excellent. I agree with that as a concept. How close were you at any point?
Nah, I'll tell you what I did. I went one higher.
You were sexist?
I was like...
You fucking dumb broad.
I was like, not one higher than racism. Like, one higher than, like, him on the chain of command. Like, who the fuck interviewed him and put him into a job?
Yeah.
Who the fuck... Like, this guy's not capable of this job. He's not, like... Like, I wasn't mad at him. He was so far out of his depth that, like, he shouldn't have been put in that situation. And the stupid motherfucker that went, oh, let's send him to pick up cars and do the thing. Like, and as well, you didn't train him. He wasn't trained. He didn't know how to use the thing that he was using. He's reading stuff that's in his second language and he's struggling to read it. You've got the wrong guy. Yeah. That's what it was. I wasn't mad at him one bit. I was like, you poor man. You poor man. I bet you get racially abused.
Aye.
I bet you get people that'll be like looking at this bloke and will send someone that can speak my bloody language then.
Aye.
But like, you know what? Send someone that can speak the language. I'm not gonna take that on him.
Aye.
But I'll take it on the person that sent him. Like, he couldn't communicate it. He couldn't use the technology. Like, I don't want to be ageist.
Just say he didn't speak the language and he should go back to where he came from. I know that's what you want to say.
He did, Govan.
I had...
And I did as well because I checked on my Audi. Like, I fucking knew it. Got me car nicked. Oh, it's fucking funny though. I was finding humour in it. Like, I mean, if like...
I wouldn't.
If it was on
2 hours of my fucking time... Absolutely fucking not. Under no... I would have left. I would have just been like, man, it's done. It's over. Like, I don't even want to trade the car anymore. We're finished here. And then phone the company and be like, do that again. Not a chance.
Aye.
Because I
rang the company this morning because they hadn't sent the email. With like, I was like, I need the email confirming that it's like had its check, because I saw like you know when you're fucking connected to the internet but it like logs you off because you've went to reach or something and it hasn't logged you back on. He was like, right, sent, done, and it come up like a fucking explanation point. I was like, no, you need to send that through. Like, I need to see that that's gone before I get you the car. And then like when that went through, I connected to the internet again. I got it through, and I was like, I haven't got the email. And I rang up, and I was just like, look, I'm not going to put in a formal complaint, but like, I think that guy didn't know what he was doing. Like, you need to train your guys before they come to a place, because it just... He didn't know how to use the equipment that he had, and I just think like you should maybe do a bit more training with him before you send him on another job. And then I come off and realised that I just missed the email. It was there. It had come through.
I am in the middle of. I'm changing my Tesla. I'm not upgrading my Tesla. I'm not getting the new Tesla supercar. I'm downgrading to a family Tesla. Because I have a family now, and also like on the old Tesla.
Struggling to get the fucking car seat in and out of your coupe, are you?
No, the Tesla Model S, which I have, is an excellent family car. It's very low to the ground.
It's got back doors, doesn't it?
Yeah, and a massive fucking boot,
Yeah.
huge boot, right? It's really, really good, and it's incredibly fucking safe. It's really good. I love that car. I will never go anywhere other than fucking Tesla. It's the simplest car in the world. It's Scalextrics. It's just a Scalextrics that they made bigger, and it's the iPhone of cars. It's for dumb people. It's for the dumbest of humanity. It's like, here's the lowest form of car. We're going to give you so few buttons as possible, so this is simple. It's the iPhone of cars.
Everyone can use it, apart from the guy that's coming to pick up your car. He still hasn't understood the concept of...
I got too many speeding tickets with Tesla because it has ludicrous mode. I don't need to go 0 to 60 in 2.4 seconds. I don't need the car to go 250 miles an hour. I don't need any.
You're taking the power away from your feet to keep your license.
No, and also, genuinely, ever since I did my fucking speed awareness course, Cara will tell you, I am the most boring driver in the world now. I do not speed. I'm fucking safe as fuck.
That's how I don't get caught speeding. Because you just never catch a speed. Different speed.
Yeah, but unlike you, I still go the speed limit. I get it.
You want to take any risks?
But I'm fine. Look, I'm a family man now. I'm fine with it. I in the future, when I have another midlife crisis, I'll buy a fucking supercar if the need strikes me. Make fun of me there. Phoning up, Tesla phoned me up. They're talking me through, this lovely guy, he's talking me through the fucking upgrade process. And he's like, are you leased? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't do any of my finances. Like, I've got an accountant, I've got a manager, and any of the home stuff is my wife, because I hate phone conversations. I can't have phone conversations. I don't understand interest. I don't understand economics. I've no interest in learning any of these things because I'm in a position where...
Because I'm a man baby.
I'm a man baby.
That just eats and shits.
No, but... why would I fucking learn to do any of these very complicated things when I can just pay someone who likes doing that?
Yeah.
That's their passion to do that thing, and they're trained in it. Why would I learn 6 months to pay when I could hire someone who's been doing it for 20 fucking years?
I tried to say this to Natalie about decorating.
Yeah, I
still ended up decorating.
Man, if I want to do something and it's my fucking passion, I'll do it. I don't think it's a fucking man baby thing. It's like... It's the same thing of like, why would I? People go, it's cheaper to get the bus than it is to take a taxi. I'm like, taxis are fucking. It's a privately owned fucking. I'm paying someone a fucking wage.
I would be quite stressed out if I had because you've got a lot of money, but you've got such a weak grasp on any of it. You've got no understanding of where your money is or how much you've got or anything like that.
I know how much I've got.
I know, but like even when you're talking about your car finance, like I know what my car finance is. I read through it and I signed it off, and I know what money's coming in and out for my car.
I would have bought it outright. Cara said you want to get it. Cara said you want to get on PCP, and I was like, explain that to me. And then 2 minutes into her explanation, I was like, I stopped listening 90 seconds ago.
Yeah,
you clearly know how to do this, so you do this. Why would I? It's not important for me to do it then.
Mm-hmm. But anything like that is just something. It's like, oh, it's a fucking head bust. But I'm buying a house or I'm buying a car or like I'm fucking. You kind of want to know where your money is and where it's going. Like, do you have any idea like what you're waiting for and what's coming in? Like,
finances?
Nah. Because I never used to be that good at it, but now I'm like spreadsheeted up and I know exactly what's coming in, exactly what I've been paid for, and like I've got a much better like grasp on it now. And my head feels like a much tidier room. It's like so cluttered when you're all over the place. But probably less cluttered when you've got more space like you do.
I've got really good accountants and I've got a really good manager.
Yeah.
Like I have several people looking over and they're all experts and they're looking over, and that's what I pay them to do. Mm-hmm. Right. And they'll come in and they'll give me a little explanation of what's happening and I won't listen because I don't care.
So do you have an accountant for like your personal life as well?
No.
Okay, because that's what I'm talking about. I've got an accountant for my taxes. Like, I'm not going to profess to know what I'm doing with my taxes. I'll give him all my income and outgoings, and he'll work out what goes where and how much tax I owe. And if I get fucking investigated and I've done it wrong, I'm like, I'd be pointing my finger at that guy.
Yeah.
Because he did it all. But with my personal accounts, surely you know what direct debits you've got and what your outgoings are. And
Oh, yeah, I mean, I can check my bank account and see what my fucking outgoings are. But like, I'm not. I don't spend excessively.
yeah, right.
Like, I mean, I know, and some people would disagree with me there, and fair enough. But in terms of-
Proportionally, you don't.
proportionally for what I earn, I'm not extravagant in any fucking.
So you can free yourself of the burden of worrying about that stuff because you're always going to be safe.
And the second I'm not safe, and I get fucking red warning lights from the several people that look after my stuff, I'll maybe pay a bit more attention, or I'll just pay someone else. I'm just not interested. Like,
Would you like Caelan to learn, or would you be happy for him to never know?
No, he needs to be a smarter person than me.
Yeah.
He needs to be a way more intelligent person than I am. Yeah, absolutely. He can't get to this stage.
Because I definitely think I'd like to teach me kids better than I had about money. Like I'd like to be better. I'd like to be better educated than I was. I really started off on the wrong foot when it come to money.
I was taught to be smart with money. My thing was always, and I was taught with family and agent, was pay off your house, put everything you fucking earn, put as much of it as you possibly can into your house. Do not get out credit cards. Do not get into that. I was taught all that stuff. So I'm good with money. I just don't understand interest. I don't understand why I have to care, and all of it.
It's I guess it's like making sure that more of your money hits you instead of these big companies. You're like protecting yourself from people that are just dipping you.
But I'm again, you know me. I am the type of fucking person that I will pay extra money to not have to
do that.
No,
And that's probably where these companies will thrive.
Yeah, fine.
So,
Absolutely fine. I've got no interest in talking. I've got no interest in talking to some math loser on a phone for 45 minutes.
So you know, like when it comes to paying like extra money on your house, you know, if you've got like just a regular mortgage from like a company like Halifax or something over 30 years, so it's not like a high risk lender or anything. Yeah, you would, if you pay off £100 extra on your mortgage every month, right? Hear these numbers. You save yourself £160 in interest in the long run for every 100. You still own that £100 because it's in your house, but you're getting 160 back in interest payment that you would have just give to the bank
don't know
for
what you just
every
said.
100. So every thousand you get £1,600 of your own money that you're working for. So this might not be important to you, but it's important to somebody that works 1 hour for 15 quid.
Aye.
1 hour of their time's 15 quid. So if you're making that money, that money, that £160 is gone to the bank. But if you can pay the £100 off, you'll keep that in the long run.
I don't know what you've said.
So what you tell me about I'm educated on money because I'm already always told pay off my house, pay off my house, pay off my house. I've literally just explained to you why you got that information and why it was good information. And you're just like, sure.
Yeah, but the angle was the same. I'm still good with like. I
But
just
you're not thick.
I'm just not
You're
interested.
Not a thick man. You don't have to be interested to like have knowledge.
Yeah, you do. At least I do. Man, look at my fucking exam results. If I cared about a subject, I would get a fucking A in it. And if I had no interest in that subject, it wasn't a C or a D. It was an abject failure.
Yeah.
If I'm not interested in something...
Suck a dick. Nothing, no.
If I am not interested in something, I cannot... I cannot retain fucking information.
No. I tell you what I'm really bad at with that is anything under the bonnet of a car.
Yeah.
Like me dad would really have liked me to have been interested in cars. I got to a point where like I could change my brake discs and pads. I could do that, but like I had no interest in underneath a car.
Look, I invest my money. Well, I don't invest my money. I give my money to investors to invest. I tell them how I want them to invest it. Like I'm like, because they go, do you want high risk, no risk? And I'm just like, ethical. Just ethical investments. Don't invest in war. Don't invest in the death of the world. Don't invest in any fucking evil.
What about robotics?
Yeah.
You'd invest in that?
Yeah. Yeah. As long as it's robotics, that's like medicinal robotics, or
not just them dogs that go running with guns on their back.
yeah. Unless I get one.
That would be fun.
Right.
Saddle it up.
Yeah.
I like westerns.
So I'm on the phone and the guy's talking to me, the Tesla guy's talking to me about my thing, and Kara's right beside me, and I'm like, just tell me what to say to this person, right? And even though it should just be a conversation between you two, since you know what language you're both speaking, right? Because it's in my name, I have to just be this fucking middleman of transferring information between the pair of you. The guy's lovely. There's no signal in my house. There's never been signal in that fucking house. I don't know why. It's just
You have to be connected to the internet for a call.
No, you have to be outside because Tesla aren't phoning me on WhatsApp.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm at the fucking window, right? Because I'm looking after Kayla, and the guy's phoning me to come in for the test drive, and he's saying all this stuff, and I've got son there, and everything's going on, and I'm explaining. I'm like, hey man, look. So from what I understand, I've got this thing on loan. I've got it for 4 years. I'm nearing the end of the fourth thing. I need to transfer it over because I'm not buying the car outright. I understand this. I understand what the process is. I don't understand what APR is. And when I say I don't understand what APR, that doesn't mean explain it to me because I'm just not going to listen. Not only do I not know what it is, I have no interest in knowing what it is.
Yeah.
It's not interesting. So I'm like, here's the situation, as best as I fucking understand it. He's like, sorry, could you repeat that? I'm hard of hearing. And I'm like, man, fucking me too. And not only am I hard of hearing, I'm hard of understanding, right? Get to Tesla today. He had a fucking ear implant and he was actually hard of hearing. There's me being like, man, me
aren't
too.
we all?
Yeah, Jesus, you know me, fucking, big dumb cunt. Oh, I'm sorry, yours isn't that. He's like, sorry, man, I'm a bit slow of learning. Fucking me too, buddy. I'm a big giant retard, and I turn up there. He's like, hello. I'm like, no. Ooh. Sick of $5 for retard.
For me.
My stance on the word, that word has been well documented on this fucking podcast.
See, that's another thing, is that guy who's hard of hearing, like, you can't be ableist. You can't be ableist. It's wrong. But you're recruiting someone for a job that's going to be using the phone.
No. His hard of hearing wasn't because you couldn't hear. His hard of hearing is because I mumble.
Right.
It was me being too. It was me being too conversational. Like it was me not getting to the point, sort of thing. It was me rambling and being like, "Oh, sorry, man." Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
It was.
So he's perfectly good for that job if you just speak clearly. So aye.
And also, by the way,
meet the poor cunt halfway.
When it comes to, because look, I'm very aware that my knowledge of fucking money in the real world is we're purchasing a new house, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to be across it this time. I'm going to pay attention when people explain to me when I have to change mortgage rates and why I'm going to have to change mortgage rates. I'll do that. I'll try and be across it as much as I can. And then the lady, I don't know what her fucking job title is, but she's the person that does all the contracts for the fucking house and stuff. The other day she went, this is all the complicated stuff. I'll just do it. And I'm like, thanks, man. Thanks for acknowledging that is your job and that I don't have. But if I was going in for surgery, right, and like let's say I had fucking heart problems, right,
yeah.
I don't need you, and maybe other people do it. I don't need you to tell me what you're going to do to my heart. I don't care about the valves that go into the heart. I don't care how the blood flow.
If I did, I'm just being nosy.
Yeah. Right? I do not need to know. I trust you. You're a fucking surgeon. They wouldn't put a stethoscope around your fucking neck, right? And maybe that's me being too trusting, and maybe it'll come back and bite me in the ass one day. Fair enough. But I like to have faith in the people that I employ and the people that I trust. I have trust in them I like to believe that the world is good. Yes, there are big corporations that are fucking evil and awful, and they're trying to get money out of you. But I do believe that most people on a fucking face-to-face level are human beings and are going to treat you like that. And people who disagree with that, I think you're on the internet too much, and and because we're super fucking divided because the media wants us to be divided, it feels the way that you can't trust people. I like to inherently fucking trust people. If my dentist was like, we need to take your tooth out, I'm like, can you explain to me the bone structure of my jaw? Take the fucking tooth out. That's what I pay you to do. Right. You studied teeth for 20 fucking years. So if you tell me my teeth need taken out, I'm not a do your own research person, right?
Yeah.
And do you know why? Because do your own research people do less research than actual fucking human beings. And that is proven, by the way. People who say do your own research statistically do less research than people who do not say do your own research. That is verifiably true.
What people who say do your own research do is try to find anything on the internet that backs them up. Backs up their stupid ideas.
Why would you do your own research on any of this stuff when somebody has... That's what the research is. These people have been doing this research for 20 years on vaccines, right? Yeah. I trust them. They've been doing the research for 20 years. I'm not doing 20 fucking years research on vaccines before I take a fucking vaccine. I'm going to look at the people who I go, you're smart, you're educated, and you're unbiased. You have nothing to gain in this.
You're not trying to sell the vaccine.
Yeah. I just have look, and maybe this will come back and bite me in the ass one day. People can fucking call me a fucking man child all you want. Fair enough.
So what about when you've got builders in your house? If they're going to do a job, do you want to know what they're doing?
Well, yeah, because those are tradies and those are fucking con artists. 70% of tradies are absolute fucking criminals.
You're not worried that a surgeon's going to do a bodge job on you, just job and knock, the quickest route? No. Because those guys are psychopaths.
Yeah, as we've discussed, and that is how we should use psychopaths, right?
If anyone's going to have a steady hand when they're cutting you up, it's somebody that's psychic.
If your child, right, is just and it's like I want to fucking cut people open. I want to understand how the fucking body works.
Sweet.
Like if
let's go through the right means.
Yeah. It's like if I don't flinch, if I put a blade onto human skin and I pull downwards and all this blood, all this stuff that belongs on the inside is now on the outside, and I love it being on the outside because that allows me to see how it fucking works.
Sweet, can you do me lass's tits?
Let's
fucking nutcase.
Yeah, let's not put these psychopaths into. But then again, I think the opposite should be true. If you've got somebody who's like, hey, I understand money really, really, I understand math really, really well, and I understand if you do this and you do this and you do this, you can technically get this much back. Maybe, yeah, you should be a financial advisor. You shouldn't be a fucking banker.
Nah, be on the right side.
Be on the right side.
Don't do that for the banks.
Yeah. Like, hey, are you?
You're
really
on the wrong side, dude. Using your power for evil.
Yeah. Look, if you're good with fucking maths and numbers, become like a financial advisor. Become somebody that does tax for people who actually need it. And I don't mean me. I mean actual people who could do with the assistance do that, as opposed to doing it for the big fucking corporations, in the same sense that if you love blood, become a surgeon and not a murderer. Mm-hmm. The reason I don't pay attention to a lot of this stuff, and I'm in a position where I'm very, very privileged to not have to worry about money, so I don't, right? Mm-hmm. It's like a lot of the time when people tell me, you could save 1% there, you could save 2% there. I'm like, I don't fucking give a fuck about 1 or 2%. And I know that's an incredibly fucking privileged thing to fucking say. But a lot of the time, for me, it feels like, hi, if you give that homeless person money, they're just going to spend it on drugs. I'm like, that homeless person there, she's actually not homeless. She's actually faking it. And if you give her money, you're falling for the con. And I'm like, that says more about her character than mine, right? I'll not allow my son to fucking see me not give money to someone because I'm skeptical about their intentions. If they want to fuck me over, right, and it's a fucking over that I can take and it's not hugely detrimental to me, then fine, okay, somebody got an extra 50, 100,000 quid out of me, right?
Yeah.
And
so here's what's terrifying, right? Is that what you have there with your perspective of money, your lack of understanding, right? You've got that on a small degree compared to the people who are running the economy. The people who are running the economy have your lack of perspective times a million. Yeah. And then they're trying to run the economy for people who are on the breadline.
Which is why I'm not a financial advisor. Which is why
you're not in charge of the economy. Like, imagine they put you in charge of the economy, how bad it would be. You don't have to imagine it. That's happening. That's what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not claiming to be a fucking expert or even competent with it, but that's why I'm not in any position.
But you wouldn't just go, well, I'm doing all right. I could deal with money fine like for everybody else.
Look, I pay my taxes. I pay most other people. I fucking pay most of the Tories' taxes.
You pay so much tax.
Oh God, and I don't fucking skimp out on it. I have been offered the Jimmy Carr stuff. Right, I've been offered the, hey, we can save you this much money. And it's like, no, right? A belief that I have always had, right, is that, and this is something that I have friends who are Tory, surprisingly, and this is the one bit where I've not converted them, but I've converted a line of their fucking thinking. I can tell you, that there is a certain amount of money that you can earn, that beyond that, it doesn't matter. Anything else is just greed.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't have greed, right? I'm super fucking privileged. I am super, super privileged and very lucky to be in the financial position I am, right? And I don't want any more. I don't need any more.
Yeah.
And so that you being like, I can earn you an extra 10% next year. I don't want an extra 10% next year.
Yeah.
I don't need an extra 10% next year. It makes no difference. 10% extra next year is just, it's going to be more tax, right?
Aye.
Right? And then, like, I mean, I guess I could give more to charity, which I certainly will.
Yeah, I think it's different for you because like all like your family's doing all right, but then I'm sure like if you just put that little bit of effort in, like Matthew or Jack could do with the money, and you're giving 10% to this fucking company, and you just give it to these cunts, they'll have a belter time.
Phone me up. You can phone me up and be like, "Hey, there is £25,000 with your name on it, and all you have to do is tell us what APR stands for."
He'd hang it up.
I don't care. I don't need that extra 25 grand.
You did something fucking wild in the airport. We had to check in a bag because for some reason the bag wasn't added to one of the flights on the tour. And normally they're shit hot with stuff like that, but we're just like, oh, you have to check it in at the desk. So put it in at the desk and keep your receipt. So I come with you check it in at the desk, and you go, actually put this one in as well. And I was like, oh, that's hand luggage, you've got that. It's already on, you can take your hand luggage. He's like, it's got me toiletries in. So like I had the 100 mil, I had to chuck them out. And you paid for an extra bag so you didn't have to chuck your toothpaste.
No, and my fucking very expensive wedding cologne that Cara bought me.
Oh, right, okay. You didn't explain that. You didn't explain that
It's in my toiletries bag.
I literally just watched you pay like fuck. I thought you were paying an extra fucking 50 quid for toothpaste.
No.
I was like, man, we're on different planets here. So it was something a bit more sentimental.
Yeah, it was my cologne that I wore on my wedding day with my darling perfect wife. That.
Oh my God.
And my electric fucking toothbrush and everything.
You take a toothbrush.
No, but also, I'll tell you right now, I like bag there, and they're like, do you want to transfer stuff between the bags? 50 quid, I'll pay not to.
Yeah, fair
100%.
Yeah.
Ease. That's what it is.
I suppose that's a different. You know, you've just been looking out to fucking 2,000 people a night that have bought a ticket. Like that starts becoming like a five out of you. No.
I don't. No. And this, look, Cara's very good with me. I hate losing my perspective on money. I love it comedically.
Yeah.
Like I love winding up Cara and Cullen and stuff, pretending like leaning into the I don't understand things. But whenever I do feel like I am losing touch a little bit, like I find it very important to be reined in. But nothing will make me laugh harder than winding up Cara by watching television. And they're like, today's prize is £100,000. And I'll just be like, but that's not even the price of a car. That's always funny to me. That's. But if I actually believe that in my heart of hearts, you have permission to break my neck.
One thing I would never want to iron out of my software is working class guilt.
I don't have working class guilt. I have immense wealth guilt. Like I acknowledge that I don't deserve the amount of money that I have in comparison to there are infinitely more important jobs done by better and smarter people than me that are more crucial to society that see 1% of what I earn. I think doctors should be paid what I earn, and I think fucking, healthcare workers, social care workers, fucking
care workers, man. The fucking
should be paid as much.
That's what it's the classic thing with footballers and care workers. Like, why are footballers getting paid millions when care workers are on practically minimum wage? And you're like, that's not how capitalism works, though. The amount of fucking money that's gone into football, like, they maybe should put in a way of like siphoning a lot of it into supporting people that are. And you know what? A lot of footballers give to charities as well.
If you were to tax the rich properly, right?
Yeah.
And if the rich were to pay taxes the way I pay taxes, which is Jesus Christ, that tax bill hurts because it's a lot. It's more than half of my money, more than half of the money I fucking earn goes to fucking tax, and that sucks shit.
But then you've got people that are dodging that,
And
that's
if you taxed fucking Amazon, if you taxed the fucking Tories, if you taxed these fucking corporations and you were to use that fucking tax money for what it was for...
not on the expenses of already rich people.
Then capitalism would work, right? Look, I might be fucking centre left, but if capitalism was done properly, in the same way that I believe if socialism was done properly, it would work. If capitalism was done properly, it does work. The reason we are in late stage capitalism is because of the fucking greed that we have allowed people to get away with.
Greedy cheaters.
That's the fucking reason. If you were to tax Jeff Bezos, if you were to tax Elon Musk, if you were to tax these people and actually get the money and use the way and stop them to add the
I've always said as well, 100% tax after $1 billion. Everything after $1 billion gets back into the system. And you're playing for prestige now.
5 million.
Yeah, 5 mil.
5 million.
Yeah. That wouldn't work on a company level. Because companies would need more than that. But on a personal level, yes.
Nobody in the world needs more than £2 million a year. Nobody. There is nobody who needs more than that. Doesn't matter how big you are, how important you are. Nobody needs more than 2 million a fucking year. Right?
But there's a lot of people that would need that spread between them.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's the message of the podcast: tax the rich.
All right, Keith. Yeah, but go and fucking tax. I know that's like me, but like I'm not the rich. Like I'm just the rich that's like in the papers and stuff.
You're also not dodging.
I'm not fucking dodging. Fucking check. Go through everything I've fucking done. I have never ever in my fucking life. I will bitch about tax. I will moan about fucking tax. Right. But not where it matters or where it fucking counts.
Anyway, subscribe to our podcast.
Oh yeah, give us your money.
£3.
Give us your money.
£3 for this insightful debate. There you go. This one. Get this one for note.